welcome back to DXB Today. Hope you're enjoying the show this evening as we take a closer look into all things green tech, and we're looking at it from three angles. Greener, yep, for sure. Bolder, and certainly smarter. So let's dive a little bit deeper with a very special guest, because what is the Green Innovation Programme here in the UAE? Well, let's ask our next guest. It is none other than His Excellency Dr. Abdelrahman Almuaini, who joins us live here in the studio. Great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Very kind of you to give time. I know it's busy time for you and your team. But let's start, if we may, with the big picture, if we can. I'm conscious that a number of our viewers won't really have fully understood the big picture. How is intellectual property helping to position the UAE as not just a hub here for the region, but a global hub of innovation and sustainability?
What we believe, Tom, is intellectual property is the key driving for any innovation. So in terms of policies, regulation, and we need to make sure that all these policies protecting the ideation, what we call ideation from the start of idea to the protection. And the main thing is you need to utilize your ideation, so in practical things. And we believe intellectual property is the key, is the asset, is an intangible asset, and we need to make sure all the startup, the companies, all the talent as well, they have the policy, the regulation, and all the service as well by the Ministry of Economy, support them in order for them to utilize their asset. So that's what we believe.
His Excellency, you recently launched the Green IP Initiative. Maybe you could talk us through a little bit more about what that means.
It's actually His Excellency Abdelrahman Almuaini, the Minister of Economy, launched this initiative. And the key driving for this initiative, we need to make sure that the companies and the startup who's working in the environment of sustainability, to make sure that we accelerate the program, the service, to make sure they gain their certificate as soon as possible. If we take an example, let's say if you are a startup, in order for you to have a patent, it might wait months and months. But with this initiative, we have an accelerating program as one of our incentive in this particular. We need to make sure that he will get the certificate as soon as possible in order for him to use it in the market, to utilize it. Maybe he can sell it, he will have a protection, and so he will help the environment. From us, we need to make sure this technology is our asset after what we launched, and as we were, all of you know about the COP28, there is several initiatives about the environment, and this is one of our initiatives. We need to make sure that with our accelerating program, all the startup, all the company who apply for the green tax, they will have their own granting certificate in order for them to use it in the market and commercialize it ultimately.
That's right.
One of the main goals is to fast-track the patent applications for sustainable technologies. How would you say this would benefit green tech startups and innovators?
It's actually mainly thing. Let's take, for example, if we are a company have a green tax, you cannot enter to the market without having a certificate of patent. We call the granting patent. If you have this granted patent, you can go to any market, use it, and as well as to have a protection. Not just you will have protection in all the UAE, in order for you as well to apply for international as well. So your tech will be protected in the UAE, as well as globally you can apply, accelerate in their protection. Is a key way to make sure that all your right or your IP rights has been protected under the umbrella of our law and policies.
That's a really good incentive. Now, I was just reading some of the goals. It says, His Excellency, that you're aiming for 8% of all patent filings in the UAE to be green and sustainable. Now, how close are we to reaching that milestone, and what are we doing to drive this?
So, a couple of things we've done in order for us to reach this target. This is a target we need to make sure overall 8%, as you mentioned. One of them, incentive and acceleration program, which is reducing the cost of applying for patent application. The other things, we've done an awareness campaign to all the industry, which is involving in technology. We participate in last week in Made in the UAE in Abu Dhabi. We had a booth with all technology. We showed them, we let them know about our technology or our policy in this one. The other things, we have something called IP clinic. So the IP clinic is a tutorial for all the technology they are willing to apply for patent. This is our tech team, our expert in the Ministry of Economy. They will let them know how your technology, it's patentable, not patentable, and we can protect not just only in patent, we can have a copyright as well as a trademark. So we need to make all these companies, they have a trademark or logo to accelerate the program, and one of the initiative as well, we launched one-day trademark. So the technology or any companies, startup, scale-ups, the big companies who are engaging with the IP Green, we are supporting them. We need to make sure that their ideas being protected in the right manner. We need to make sure that their ideas to be in the market, to use it, to utilize it, to invest in it, and then all the company will gain benefit from that.
As they say, you know, regulation builds trust from investors, founders, and otherwise. Let's talk legalities if we can. 3,600 patent applications up until 2024. I mean, that's impressive, not just here, anywhere in the world at the moment. So, from a ministry point of view, how are you making sure that the regulations, or rather the legal framework, is evolving to protect but also encourage that kind of innovation at the moment?
So, let's give you an example. In 2021, we amend our laws.
Yeah.
And it's not just only we amend our law while we are staying in our offices. We made sure that all the stakeholders, they are part of our journey in amending our law and policies. That's why all the private sector, they were involving in our amending our laws. That's we need to make sure our legals, one of the, because we sign a lot of international treaties and agreements under the umbrella of World Intellectual Property Organization. So we need to make sure all these international standards within our regulation as well as within our policies. So this is, we need to, the other things that the right holders, the people who is in the market, we need them to be on board to amend our law, to amend our policy, because their needs, they are in the field. So we need to listen to them in order for us to amend. So this is you know, an ongoing journey with us, with all the stakeholders. So from time to time now we are in the journey to look into our laws as well. If there is any miss or gap, we can as well, of course, to amend. We reduce one of the key things. We reduce the fees of applying for patent for all the research and university to 50%. So this is part of our journey to have an incentive for different type of research and investor as well to the university.
Yeah.
His Excellency, thank you so much for coming on our show and educating us about this. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
No, thank you very much for sharing with you the initiative by the Ministry of Economy, and looking forward. Thank you.